Hi guys, Jasmo here and welcome to the second part of the ED Contagion Transition Leveling Guide. This time we're focusing on Act 2, and again I'm gonna give you a little checklist of everything to do, and again you can find that checklist also in the POB in the notes, and the POB you can find in the description. So we will focus in this act on having extra blue and green sockets for Herald of Thunder and Herald of Ice, and then we also need to make sure that we have 2 extra alteration orbs, and hopefully you've been farming it up a little bit in the previous act and identifying rare items in the previous act after Merveil so that you can sell them for alterations, because those 2 alterations we will need right after Chamber of Sins, and we will buy for them Cold Snap and Herald of Ice, and Herald of Thunder we're gonna get from the quest. Other than that, you still want to make sure that you're getting your essences for the wand craft, and that's something that you want to do at level 20. You can see on the passive tree, which also is in the POB in the description, that we're going toward the movement speed on the bottom, and then we're going up to the spell damage plus AoE nodes through intellect, because we're gonna need the extra intellect right away in order to equip the wand bases that have a little bit higher int requirement, and it's very useful to have them, because since you're gonna make that craft at level 20, it's gonna carry you through basically the rest of the game that you're using the skills that you currently use with. So this is something that is very important, and I definitely recommend looking every now and then in the shop for a higher base of a wand, for example quartz wand, and if you get it with good links, then you can turn it into a magic item, and together with a rare topaz ring you'll be able to create the wand recipe for level 20. Chamber of Sins is first on the list because it gives us our heralds, it gives us the damage, and basically you want to try to hit level 16 before Weaver, because if you do that you're going to be able to have your heralds active, and with the heralds your damage is going to be definitely much higher, because it's a ton of added flat damage for your Orb of Storms and for your Stormblast mines mostly. Cold Snap is giving you onslaught. Cold Snap only gives you onslaught when you one-shot monsters, so try to aim for monsters that have low health in order to just gain that onslaught from Cold Snap, and it's gonna continue to kill stuff until the end of Act 5, no problem. It's a pretty high base damage spell because it has that internal cooldown, but stuff is gonna keep dying. You're gonna get the frenzy charges and you can spend them on extra cold snaps, but whenever there are like rare mobs, you wanna make sure to kill them with your mines. We go to Alira, and actually I'm gonna kill her, and I'm gonna kill all of the bandits. The resistances are nice, sure, but it is like it takes less time to fix your resistances by bench crafting than to get the 20 regret orbs to respec later on to get the passive points, because we will have no use for crit and we will have enough resistances because our gear doesn't really need any specific things, so it's easy to get resistances. Same with mana, Trickster has easy time with having enough mana. So that's why we're killing Alira, and then you go down, you do the way forward quest, and then you go to the opposite side to do the Weaver. That way you only enter this zone once and then you log out. That's because that's the order you do it. You go to the Weaver last so that you can log out. You're gonna pretty much guaranteed to be level 16, and you don't have to backtrack. It's the fastest way to do it if you are indeed killing Alira and you have enough damage, and we clearly do have enough damage because I have double wandcraft. This is another strongbox that I found with scraps, so I have tons of wisdom scrolls, so I never have to worry about that. Here you can preload Weaver if you stand exactly in the spot that you could see me throw the mines from. This is a good time to like identify some of your items. Along the way you should probably find a leather belt by now. This will increase your defenses by a bunch. Before that you should be using the energy shield belt. And here we're getting trap and mine damage. Trap and mine damage you put instead of lesser poison into your Stormblast mine, and that's gonna boost your Stormblast mine damage, and later on you can have it into Pyroclast mine or the Lightning Spire trap, depending on which route you're gonna go in Act 3. So right now I'm definitely looking to get topaz rings. I have 1 topaz ring already. And I purchased a quartz wand, as you can see, because I want to have that nice base for a future craft. So I need to have another essence, I think, or alchemy, and another topaz ring. So that's all I need. And if you don't have an extra topaz ring, you can always go to Act 1, and it costs basically 4 scrolls of wisdom to make it. You buy 1 green gem from Nessa, and you buy 1 iron ring. And sometimes she's gonna have sometimes the vendors will have just a topaz ring as a whole, and you can just buy that for 3 scrolls. But even if they don't, you can still get it, just costs 1 scroll extra. We're doing the trial again because we're doing all the trials, and after that I like doing Creighton, and after Creighton we kill Oak and then get our skill points. To reach to Creighton, you just follow this road, and that's all. At the end of the road you're gonna find Creighton, so that's a very, very easy way to reach him. You can jump through that wall to reach him faster. And again, as with all bandits that you're killing, you want to talk to them until you see the option to help or kill, stack the mines under them, click on the kill, detonate the mines, and just blast them. Now going back to Riverways and to kill the Oak. And our goal is to get preferably 2 wand crafts. That's nice essence, so I'm gonna have enough essences now. 2 wand crafts, level 20 wand crafts before Val, and that's gonna make our Val kill super easy. He's gonna spawn the adds, and you probably won't be able to blast him before he goes down. He'll go down once, and then he comes up and immediately dies. That's how easy it is. So you can see I'm doing the wand craft here. That's the first one on a good base. I'm checking another base. There is another base, but I would have to chrome it. Also picking 2 stone rings. If you don't find 2 stone rings, it's a good option to purchase them, especially if you find a high roll like a 15% or 16%. And that way you're gonna have an easy way to craft resistances later. You can, for example, spend future essences or alchemies, or even if you have extra transmutations after crafting resistances, you can put them on the rings, and then if there's an open suffix, you can also put another resist on that. I recommend saving the ones like you can see here. I saved the level 8 wand crafts because if you're playing SSF, even if you're not playing SSF, if you're just gonna level another character, it's really nice to have them because it speeds you up so much. So I definitely recommend doing that. And yeah, the 2 stone rings are the rings of choice because you can get the most resistances on them. 2 stone rings actually go up to 16%. 16 times 2 is 32, right? So you can get 32 total elemental resistances from the implicit versus just 30 from every other ring. Like prismatic ring gives you 30 if you hit 10 all, and regular resist rings give you 30 if you have the max roll. And because there is also less rolls, there's less variance, I think, so it's easier to get the higher, like better roll 2 stone ring as well. So that's the ring you want to have if you want to have an easy time with your resistances. Val Ruins, through Val Ruins, you still want to make sure that you're collecting the currency if you don't have it yet. So that means picking up rare items and identifying them, like opening strong boxes if you still don't have enough currency to craft the ones. And if you're like anticipating that you're too low level, let's say you're like level 18 here, then you want to start killing a little bit more monsters so that you can be level 20 before Val and kill him comfortably with the wand crafts, because it requires level 20 to equip. There's also another wand craft. If you use magic ring, it requires only level 14 to equip, but it's weaker. Picking up rare wands and also shields, and in general just gear that you think would be helpful for ED Contagion after the swap, that's also worth picking up. You can see I'm identifying everything here. This is by no means a very, very quick run. This is just a run that I used as an example to showcase this strategy, and it's still, for me that's a good time for a run, even though I spent tons of time, like way too much time in the town organizing my inventory and so on, instead of just blasting forward. You can see I picked up a recipe now, so from that point on I do have movement speed boots, but if I didn't have movement speed boots, this is where I would craft them. I would pick up boots with a good base, and I would just get I'll just get them essence or alchemy to make them rare, and then hopefully there is an open prefix, and that way I can craft the prefix for 3 augments, and it gives you like 10 to 14 movement speed, I think. So it's really helpful, and from this point on you have a guaranteed movement speed boots. So doesn't matter if you had good or bad RNG, you should have movement speed boots before you get to Val, or like right after you get to Val. Act 3 you should start with movement speed boots, no question about it. Like, you have to be extremely unlucky and have 0 augmentations for that to happen, but that means probably you misplayed and messed something up. Going to the opposite side of the room to find the stairs up. And it's smooth sailing for now. This is the stage at which your character is very strong, because we have the heralds, we have still a lot of damage nodes, picking up another recipe. So that's how you do Act 2. In Act 3, we're gonna figure out there will be like 2 different paths that you can go in terms of what you want to do for your damage, but that's basically it. This is Act 2. Hopefully this has been helpful. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.